You might have heard about debt consolidation as a way to alleviate the stress of monthly debt payments that are dragging you down. But the question is whether debt consolidation would be a good idea for you. We have spent years in the lending industry. We track lenders and financial services companies and have studied the personal finance data of hundreds of thousands of people. We want to bring that knowledge and experience together to help answer the question of whether it's time for you to consider consolidating your credit card debt. Your current debts all have high interest rates is the first sign that consolidating your credit cards might be the right move. This is perhaps the most important of all the factors when it comes to determining whether consolidating makes sense for you. Why? Well, the whole point of consolidating your debt is to pay less interest, so you can put more of your money against the principal. This is how you get out of debt. The more money you can put to principal, the faster you will get out of debt. If you have higher interest rates, too much of your monthly payment is going towards interest. Paying interest does nothing to get you out of debt. It's just the cost of owing someone else money. So, does it still make sense to consolidate even if you aren't getting a better interest rate? Not really, especially if the debt consolidation loan comes with an origination fee, balance transfer fee, or lengthens out the term of your loan. But we'll discuss this a little bit more later in this video. So how much lower should the new loan's APR be? I recommend making sure that your debt consolidation loan's APR is at least 2 to 3 percentage points lower than the interest on the debt you are currently consolidating. That lower rate will mean that you can cut months off of your loan term, especially if you take the money you would have saved by having a lower payment and putting it towards the principal. Having a good credit score is the second sign that it might be a good idea to consolidate your credit card debt. Remember, you don't need to show any loyalty to a company. If you can get a better rate that helps you get out of debt faster, you owe it to yourself to do that. So if your credit score is in pretty good shape, you ought to check to see if you can get a lower rate somewhere else. While lenders rarely actually use credit score in their lending models, it is a good proxy for whether you should be able to get a better rate. A really good rule of thumb is that if your credit score has risen at least 40 points since you last checked your rate, you should be able to get a significantly better deal. Why? Well, no matter where you started, a 40-point change means that you've moved up a full credit bracket. Either you moved from bad to fair, or from fair to good, or from good to excellent. Moving a whole credit bracket means being eligible for better and cheaper forms of credit. What if your credit score hasn't changed much, but you still have a credit score of at least 660 or better? You should periodically check your rate with lenders to see if someone is willing to give you a lower rate than you're currently paying. Sometimes companies loosen their acceptance algorithm for reasons that have nothing to do with borrowers. For instance, they want to grow faster or they have more money to lend. So it makes sense to periodically check. At the Yukon Project, we've tried to make checking easy. If you go to our marketplace page, you can apply to any one of our featured lenders, and we will simultaneously check your rate with up to 40 other lenders behind the scenes. Our partners use a soft credit check, so applying won't hurt your credit score. We will show you all of the companies that approve you so you can pick the best offer for you. Having a good plan for staying out of debt is the third sign that you are ready to consolidate your credit card debt. And this one is crucial. If you don't have a plan to keep from running up your credit card balances, consolidating your credit card debt can be a disaster. Why? Well, because consolidating your credit card debt drops your credit card utilization down to zero. You now have all this extra room on your credit cards to keep spending. If you use that as an excuse to spend a little bit more or let emergencies pile up on your card, you could find yourself in worse shape than you were before you consolidated. You'll have a debt consolidation loan and credit card balances. Your plan to keep from running up your credit cards could be as simple as just closing those cards. But if you're trying to grow or maintain a good credit score, having credit cards with low utilization could be really helpful. You would be better off using what we call the double auto pay method. Put a single recurring bill on the credit card, maybe a streaming subscription, and set your card to be automatically paid in full every month using the ACH authorization. Then put aside that card and don't use it for anything else. That way you get the benefit of an on-time payment being reported to the credit bureaus as well as a low utilization. This is a great foundation for a strong credit score. The most important thing is for you to avoid falling into the trap of building up credit card balances again. And let's be honest, you know what that trap looks like for you. If you spend too much, you have to cut yourself off from the credit card usage. If you ran into a stretch of bad luck, you have to have a larger rainy day fund. Be honest with yourself and make a plan to give your finances more resilience in the future. The last sign that you are ready to consolidate your credit card debt is that you have multiple monthly payments. This one is last for a reason. Multiple payments alone is not a good reason to consolidate. Sure, it would be convenient to only have one creditor to deal with every month, but that convenience doesn't actually get you out of debt any faster on its own. There is one exception to that rule. If you just can't keep organized enough to avoid being late on your payments, you may need to consolidate just to stay on top of things. Being late on your payments could cost you money a lot of different ways. Lenders might hit you with late fees or failed payment fees. You might experience overdraft fees. And if you find yourself late more than 30 days, it could hurt your credit score, which would make borrowing more expensive. Consolidating credit card balances into a single personal loan can be a great way to accelerate your efforts to pay off your debt, but only if you're ready to do it correctly. Get a lower APR, strengthen your credit score, make a plan to stay out of debt, or avoid the cost of multiple monthly payments. Make a plan today to gain the peace of mind of living a debt-free life. If you found this video helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.